morning, students. Welcome back to you all in English lecture. So, dear students, today we are going to start with the new chapter of your English textbook. So, I request you all to kindly open your English textbook. So, students, now in today's lecture, we'll start with the new chapter of your Unit 1. Chapter number 1.3, Autobiography of a Great Indian Bustard. So, I request you all to kindly open your textbook, page number 6. So, students, before beginning with the new chapter 1.3, Autobiography of a Great Indian Bustard, do you know what do you mean by autobiography? What do you understand from the word autobiography? Can anyone tell me? Yes. So, students, in composition part, we have written a lot of biographies. On various topics, we have written the composition and biographies. In composition part, you have written the biographies on various topics. So students, now let us learn about an autobiography. Now, what is meant by autobiography? Do you know what is the meaning of autobiography? For that, let us divide the word autobiography in three parts: auto, bio and graphy. So, dear students, auto means, the word auto means self, bio means life and graphy means writing. Understood, students? What I did now, I just divide the word autobiography in three parts, that is auto, bio and graphy. So, auto means self, bio means life and graphy means writing. So, autobiography means self, life, writing. Self, life, writing. So, we could interpret the word autobiography means story. So, the word autobiography means story of my life. What do you mean by autobiography? Story of my life. So, dear students, here is the autobiography of a great Indian bustard written by himself. Because autobiography means story of my life. So, story of a great Indian bustard written by Indian bustard himself. This is the story of great Indian bustard written by himself. So, students, bustard means it is a type of a bird. Bustard means what? It is a type of bird which you can see on the screen itself. So, let us listen to the story of great Indian bustard written by himself. So, dear children, now let's listen to the story written by his own words, written by himself by his own words. So, let's listen. I request you all to remove your textbook. Page number 6, 1.3, Autobiography of a Great Indian Bustard. Which is the heaviest flying bird in India? Well, friends, it's me, the Great Indian Bustard. I feel proud to be known as the Great Indian Bustard. I have more than 30 different names in various Indian languages. So, dear students, the Great Indian Bustard, it is the heaviest flying bird in India. Okay, so the bustard itself asks the question to us. It asks the question to us that which is the heaviest flying bird in India, and it says that it's me, The great Indian bustard. Further, he says that I feel proud to be known as the great Indian bustard. Why? Because I have more than 30 different names. The great Indian bustard has more than 30 different names in various Indian languages. In Marathi, the great Indian bustard is known as Maldok or Hum. See, in Marathi, two names are there for the great Indian bustard, that is Maldok and Hum. I can weigh up to 80 kilos and can stand up to 4 feet in height. So dear students, the great Indian bustard can weigh up to 18 kilos and stand up to 4 feet in height. Reaching up to your shoulders or even higher. See, its height, it can stand to 4 feet in height. It is too heighted, this bird, the great Indian bustard, that it can reach up to our shoulders or even higher. I have got a long white neck. You can see in this image itself. It has the long and white neck. Brown wings. Its color of wings is brown. Tall yellow legs and a black cap on a head. See, its legs are of which color? Yellow color. And it has a black cap on his head. You can see in this image. In your textbook itself, the picture which is shown there, you can see its appearance. My wife, Mrs. Bustard, is smaller and slimmer than I am. That means the female version of Indian bustard, the great Indian bustard. Okay, this is the male version, the autobiography of a male version. So it says that his wife, Mrs. Bustard, is smaller and slimmer. The female Indian bustards are smaller and slimmer than I am, than he is. And the female Mrs. Bustard's neck, the female Indian bustard's neck is not white in color. Its color is some different. But I have heard human says that we both look impressive. So here he says that the great Indian bustard says that I have heard that human says that male and female, both types, both genders look very impressive. Further he says, I live on grasslands and deserts along with my other friends including chinkara, blackbuck and larks. So he further says that it lives in grasslands and deserts with his other friends including chinkara, blackbuck and larks. So these are the name of the birds too. Okay, these are the names. I eat everything including snakes, lizards, small fruits and berries and all sorts of insects. So what does he eat? Yes, he eats all types of insects including snakes, lizards, small fruits, berries and sorts of insects. That's a very healthy habit. But grasshoppers and beetles are my favorite foods. Now dear students, you know the grasshoppers. You have seen the grasshoppers. Grasshoppers and beetles. Beetles means beetle is an insect, student. I will just show here the beetles. See students, the image shown on your screen, it's an insect known as beetle. It's often large and black in color usually and with a hard case on its back and wings above. Okay, so this type of insect is known as beetle. Now grasshoppers. Yes children, this is a grasshopper. So grasshopper and beetle, these both insects are the favorite one of whose? of Indian bustard. These two insects are its favorite. When it starts raining, we all gather at our favorite grasslands where there are no people to disturb us. I perform a wonderful dance by gulping air in the special feathery pouch attached below my neck. So, dear students, here the Indian bustard says that it performs a wonderful dance when it starts raining and there are no people to disturb us, to disturb them, to disturb him. I perform a wonderful dance by gulping air in a special feathery pouch attached below my neck. So, dear students, gulping means swallowing. Pouch means a sort of bag, a pocket like, which is attached below its neck. Let's take the help of the picture to understand it better. Yes, students, see, you can see here pouch. Pouch you can see here, see this one. So, this is the pouch which is attached below its neck, and when it starts raining, so the great Indian bustard perform a wonderful dance and it first gulps air in its pouch. You can see here the pouch in image and produce a resonating sound. Resonating sound means a loud, deep and clear sound that continues for a long time. And it then dances with puffed out feathers, cocked up tail and dropped down wings. Understood? Where's the pouch attached here? You can see the pouch itself. You can see in this image the pouch where the great Indian bustard gulps air in its pouch and then it produces a resonating sound. So students, this pouch is attached below its neck as you have seen just now in the image. So the pouch also helps it to produce a resonating sound similar to the one produced by the cow. And how is the sound? Okay, how the cow makes sound. Similarly, the sound is similar to the cow. It sounds like okay. I dance in joy with puffed out feathers and cocked up tail and dropped down wings. It helps me to impress my soulmate. See what the Indian bustard says. He says that when he starts dancing in the rain, so it helps him to impress his soulmate. Soulmate means who? Mrs. Bustard. Female, okay. Female gender. Which gender? Female. Now, this is the autobiography of the great Indian bustard, but its gender is male. It's male version. So, he is talking about the female version. Understood till here? Now, let's proceed further. You know that we birds lay eggs and our young ones hatch out of eggs. Mother Jeep lays just one egg directly on the ground. We don't believe in building nest. See students, here the great Indian bustard, the egg of the great Indian bustard, they don't believe in building nest. Usually you have seen the birds lay eggs and their young ones hatch out from the eggs. You all know that when the bird lay eggs and the young ones hatch out of the eggs, and where the birds lay the eggs in the nest. But these birds, the great Indian bustard, they are totally different. Mother Jeep lays just one egg directly on the ground. See, they directly lay the egg on the ground itself. They don't believe in building nest. Whereas you have seen the many birds, they lay their eggs in the nest and they protect their eggs so that none of the enemies would harm their young ones. But here, great Indian bustard, they lay just one egg. They lay just one egg directly on the ground because they don't believe in building nest. Now just turn your page, students. Open your page number 7. But we have a special trick to protect our eggs from predators. Now dear students, what do you mean by predators? Predators means animals that hunt, kill and eat other animals or their eggs. Just underline the word predators. On page number 7, first line, last word, predators. Predators means animals that hunt, kill and eat other animals or their eggs. So they have the great Indian bustard, they have one special trick to protect their eggs from predators. Let's see what is that trick. The egg looks like a stone. Monitor lizards, foxes, dogs, pigs, snakes and eagles are enemies of my egg and chick. But my wife protects the egg from all of them. But the time a young one hatches out of the egg, rains arrive. There's plenty of grass swarming with insects. Dear students, how they protect their eggs from predators? Their eggs, the great Indian bustard eggs, look like a stone. So these fool predators and protects the egg from enemies. This is a special trick. What is the special trick? The egg of the great Indian bustard looks like a stone. And this is the reason these fools predators and protects the egg from the enemies. Because the egg looks like a stone, so the enemies wouldn't attack the egg because it looks like a stone. And who are the enemies of the egg? Yes, lizards, foxes, dogs, pigs, snakes, eagles. They are the enemies of Indian bustard egg. But his wife protects the egg from all of the enemies. By that time, when young one hatches out of the egg, rains arrive. And the plenty of grass is there surrounded by the egg, swarming with insects. Fresh food for my family. Young ones of other birds soon fly away from the nest. But a great Indian bustard, mother and chick, stay together for nearly 1 year. The chick learns many good habits from the mother. See students, usually you have seen the other birds when the birds lay eggs in their nest and when the young ones hatch the egg and hatches out of the egg, and soon after 1 month or after some few days it starts flying. They start flying in the sky. But the great Indian bustard is totally different from other birds. When the young one hatches out of the egg, rains arrive and there are plenty of grass swarming with insects. So there is fresh food for its family. As well as the young ones of the other birds, they soon fly away from the nest. But a great Indian bustard, mother and the little one, the young one, or you can say the chick. Chick means young one of the great Indian bustard. They stay together for nearly 1 year. So the chick of the great Indian bustard, it stays with its mother for nearly 1 year. And the chick learns many good habits from the mother. Understood students? Let's proceed further. You may have heard about a great human friend of ours, Dr. Salim Ali. He had even suggested that we should be given the status of the national bird. Now you all know our national bird is peacock. So Dr. Salim Ali, who is he? Yes, Dr. Salim Ali is a great human friend of ours. That means let's see about Dr. Salim Ali in few words. Let's see the introduction of Dr. Salim Ali. Who is he? So dear students, now Dr. Salim Ali, you have heard his name, Dr. Salim Ali. He is known as the Birdman of India. He was born on 12th of November in the year 1896 and he died on 20th June in the year 1987. He was the first Indian to conduct systematic bird surveys across India. And Zuthera and Salim Ali, a bird was named after him in 2016. So Dr. Salim Ali, he had even suggested that we should be given the status of national bird, that the great Indian bustard should be given the status of national bird of our country. But the honor went to a beautiful relative, the peacock. As you all know, today the national bird is known as peacock. But Dr. Salim Ali, he has suggested that the great Indian national bird, the great Indian bustard, should be given the honor of national bird of our country. Now, Dr. Salim Ali, he received Padma Bhushan in the category of Civilian Award in the field of science and engineering in 1958, and he was honored by the government of India with Padma Vibhushan in 1976. So, Dr. Salim Ali, he is known as the Birdman of India. I am very happy to tell you that I am a state bird of Rajasthan. We have got 10 sanctuaries for our protection, but sadly, our number is still going down. We used to live in all parts of India, but slowly the growing population of man pushed us away from more than 90% of our home regions. We are afraid of hunters that kill us for fun. We also die due to electric power lines that we can't see while flying. We are losing our homes. Today, only the last 200 of us are left in the world. We need your support and love in order to survive. Can you help us? So, dear students, the great Indian bustard, he says that he is proud to tell that he is a state bird of Rajasthan. And they have got 10 sanctuaries for their protection, because their number is still going down. There is scarcity of the great Indian bustard. Day by day the number is going down. Earlier they used to live in all parts of India, but slowly the growing population of India, they pushed the great Indian bustard away for more than 90% of our home regions. And now the great Indian bustard says that he is afraid of hunters that kill them for fun. They also die because of electric power lines that they can't see while flying. While flying, they cannot see the electric power lines, and that is the reason they die. We are losing our homes. Means the great Indian bustard, they are losing their homes day by day. Only last 200 of us are left. Only 200 of great Indian bustard are left in India, in the world. Okay, not in India, in the world. See, only last 200 of us are left in the world. Only 200 great Indian bustard are left in the world. So this great Indian bustard is seeking for the support. He is asking for the support and love from us to survive. Okay, so that they can survive. You can write letters to your leaders and make an appeal to us. You can make my drawing and submit it to your teacher. You can discuss this with your parents. Come to see us at a sanctuary, because now you will not see us in other places. And who knows, if humans don't help us, none of us will be left on the earth. You will only see us in the pictures. So dear students, the great Indian bustard, he teaches us a beautiful lesson today to us that day by day there is a scarcity of great Indian bustard. So he says that you can help us. We need your support and love. And to help us, what you can do? How you can help the great Indian bustard? Yes, you can write the letters to our leaders and make an appeal to us. Then you can make the drawing. You can help them. You can help the great Indian bustard by making the drawing and submit it to your teacher. You can discuss this with your parents, the great Indian bustard. To come to see us at a sanctuary. You can see the great Indian bustard only in sanctuary. Okay, because now you will not see in other places. They are left in the sanctuary itself. And who knows, if human don't help them, none of us will left. None of the great Indian bustard will left on the earth, and we will see only the pictures of the great Indian bustard. So dear students, through this autobiography, the great Indian bustard is appealing us to help them to conserve their population so they won't die. So the great Indian bustard, through this autobiography, he is appealing us to help them, to save them, to conserve their population, or else none of the great Indian bustard will be left on the earth, because only very few Indian bustards are left in the world. So like other birds, so students, only very few great Indian bustards are left, and if will not help them, they will die, and there will be none of the great Indian bustard will left on the earth, and there will be extinction of the great Indian bustards too. So for this we should build more sanctuaries and help the great Indian bustard. So the great Indian bustard, through this autobiography, he is asking to support them, to help them, to conserve their population. So students, I hope you have understood this information of the great Indian bustard very well. Now we'll see you in the next lecture. Till that, stay connected, stay safe.